caught my girlfriend with her ex in my apartment, and she introduced me as her roommate, but I can't reach my feet to kick myself for not seeing it coming. I live alone in a city apartment. My girlfriend, Jennifer, doesn't technically live with me, but she practically does. She's here at least 5 nights a week. Clothes in the closet, toothbrush in the bathroom, her laptop charging in the living room. You get the picture. It's been like this for a while, and it never bothered me. We've been dating for a little over a year. So, yesterday, I got off work early. I'd had a long shift but was in a good mood. Around noon, Jennifer texts me asking if she could use the apartment that night. Said she wanted to catch up with an old college friend and wanted privacy. I had no problem with that. She specifically asked if I could give them some space for a few hours. So I told her, yeah, no problem. I'll hang out with a coworker after my shift and then maybe grab dinner or something. Fast forward to 8:45 p.m. I'm heading back to the apartment. I'd stopped to pick up some food on the way because my coworker bailed on dinner. I wasn't really thinking about who would be there or if they were still there. Honestly, I was tired and just wanted to chill. But as soon as I walked in, I noticed a pair of men's sneakers and a bomber jacket next to my coat rack. Definitely not mine. I walk in, and there they are. Jennifer's on the couch with some dude. They're drinking wine, laughing like they're in the middle of a rom-com. They aren't touching or anything, but they're way too comfortable. He's got this smug, familiar look that instantly rubbed me the wrong way. Jennifer notices me and practically jumps. First red flag. She quickly says, in the most awkward, forced tone I've ever heard, "Oh, this is my roommate," gesturing to me. So, I stopped dead in my tracks. I don't even know how to react for a second. I look at the guy, and he just smirks and says, "Hey, I'm Tyler. I dated Jennifer in college." That was the moment it all started clicking into place in real time. The nervous look, the fact she wanted the apartment to herself to be with him, the tone of her voice, and now this dude casually dropping that he's her ex while she's pretending I'm her roommate and forgetting we've been together for over a year. She immediately tries to play it off, saying it was a joke, that she didn't mean it. But her face said it all. She was busted. She knew it, and he wasn't helping. He had this cocky confidence like he already knew he'd stirred something up. I told him to leave. I didn't yell, but I just said it straight, leave. He laughs and tells me to chill out because he's just catching up with his ex and winks at me. Well, that wink was what pushed me over the edge. I'm not proud of it, but I swung at him. The fist connected, and the next second we were brawling. It wasn't a long fight. He wasn't expecting it, and I was done being polite. I hauled him towards the door, grabbed his jacket, and shoved him outside. Finished it off with a kick in the ass to make it clear I was kicking him out and this wasn't just some friendly tussle. Jennifer was yelling the whole time, calling me crazy, saying I couldn't treat her friend like that. That's when I turned to her and told her to leave too. She resisted at first, trying to turn it around, saying it was her apartment too and that I didn't understand the situation. I wasn't interested in that discussion. I went straight to the closet, grabbed the suitcase she kept at my place, packed up what was clearly hers, and tossed it by the door. She stood there, stunned, still trying to reason with me, but I wasn't open for a discussion of any kind. Told her to leave or I'd call building security. She stormed out, yelling something about how I always assumed the worst, that I ruined everything. After I ate the food I brought, I checked my phone. Unread messages from Jennifer. The first one just says, "Can we talk?" Then another one saying, "You're overreacting." Then a few more where she starts going off, accusing me of being violent and unstable. Then a voicemail from her sister sounding pissed, saying, "You better fix this before mom and dad find out." Now I have her parents texting me, telling me I need to be a man and talk to Jennifer, that I need to fix things. Apparently, she ran straight to them crying, conveniently leaving out the part where she had her ex in my apartment and lied about who I was. Sure, they weren't doing the horizontal mambo when I walked in, but just give it another 30 minutes. 15. and that idiot would have known how to do more than wink and get his ass kicked. Of course, I haven't responded to anyone yet. Do you guys think I overreacted? Not only did she lie about who she was meeting, but she called me her roommate. I think that last part is what really set me off. Everyone's acting like I lost my mind, but no one's mentioning anything about what she did. In my opinion, when that happens, there is nothing to mention because the truth is already plain to see. Before continuing, don't forget to subscribe. New stories every day. Update 1. After that night, I wasn't answering any of Jennifer's messages, but the voicemail from her sister bothered me. The tone wasn't even about the situation itself. It was like she was trying to get ahead of something, like there was already a narrative forming, and she wanted me to get on board with it before her parents got the full story. So I decided not to stay quiet. The next day I texted her sister, told her we needed to talk in person. She agreed, and we met at a place near her work. She was pretty tense, like she was bracing for something uncomfortable, which already gave me a clue. I told her my side of the story. The sister's expression changed instantly. She just looked genuinely concerned and said, "That's not what Jennifer told us at all." Turns out, Jennifer told her family that I flew off the handle and attacked a friend she'd invited over because she needed help with something work-related. I mean, more lies. Said I got jealous, lost control, and threw a tantrum. She also told them I was going through some emotional stuff and projected it onto the situation. That's why the family started calling me, telling me to fix things, because she made it seem like I was the unstable one. I showed her the texts where she said she needed the apartment to see a friend, and I described the winking idiot, whom I regret I did not leave permanently winking. The sister went quiet. All she said was, "I'll talk to mom and dad." It only took a few hours for the fallout to start. First, I got a text from Jennifer's mom, completely different tone than before. She apologized for jumping to conclusions without hearing both sides and said she had no idea Jennifer had lied. Then, less than 10 minutes later, I got a text from her dad, which went in the opposite direction. To my surprise, he was pissed. Said I should have been the bigger man, that no matter what happened, I should never have laid hands on anyone, that I should have protected Jennifer from the consequences instead of kicking her out. I didn't reply to her father, never liked doormats. That same night, her uncle called me. Not that I'm close with him, but we've run into each other at a few family events, and he's a decent guy. I answered thinking maybe he was going to lecture me too, but what he told me left me speechless. Apparently, Jennifer stayed at his place the night everything happened. Told him she didn't feel safe going back home after the incident. But while she was there, she let it slip that the guy, who I'll call Tyler to avoid calling him Winky or kicked ass, had actually been seeing Jennifer the night before *, which is notably when she texted me to ask for the apartment. Her uncle confronted her, and she revealed that nothing happened that night because she didn't want to go to the motel where he was staying. She was grossed out. But that nothing had happened the night I found them either. Sure, that solves everything, as she has a problem with motel hygiene, and because I arrived on time, she did not cheat. All solved. Time to get back together. If I were Jennifer's father, surely that would be my thought process. 2 days later, she shows up at my work. Yep, at my work. Walks in crying, red-eyed, with a bag in her hand. Starts asking to speak to me loudly. People at the reception desk heard, and one of my coworkers came to get me. Just said, "You gotta deal with something." When I walked out and saw her, I didn't even say anything. Just pointed her towards the exit. She followed me out, still crying, still begging for a chance to explain. I told her she shouldn't be here, that this wasn't the way to handle things. She kept saying she never meant to lie, that Tyler just showed up and caught her off guard. Said calling me her roommate was a slip-up because she panicked. None of that mattered anymore. She could have said she was possessed by a ghost, and I wouldn't have cared. I told her I'd already spoken to her uncle and that she needed to leave, never to show up at my work or anywhere near me again. She said that her uncle could be lying, that our relationship was stronger than whatever he could say. I just walked back inside. My boss wasn't angry, but he made it clear this couldn't happen again. Said the company had a reputation, and if personal drama kept showing up at the front desk, it would be a problem. I understood and assured him it wouldn't happen again. The next day, a letter was left at my door. It was from a lawyer. Wanted me to return some belongings, stuff she'd apparently left behind. I'd already packed everything and given it to her sister earlier that week. I even left a checklist in the box with everything that was packed. But this was another move, a legal threat to force communication. I sent the lawyer's office a picture of the checklist and the shipping receipt, telling them everything was already taken care of. Then, her dad texted me again, saying I was acting like a coward and a child just for refusing to face Jennifer and work things out like adults. I blocked her father, but my ex can't understand that this is over, and I've made it very clear. If kicking her out of my apartment and sending all her things isn't enough, I don't know another way. I don't know how to make smoke signals with my hands that say, "You're a lying bitch," and get over it. Update 2. About a week after she caused a scene at my work, there was a knock on my door early in the morning. A guy in a suit handed me an envelope. I knew what it was before I opened it, a restraining order. I sat down, read it, and honestly, I thought it was a joke. It was written in a way that painted me as this controlling jerk who'd exploded because she was trying to move on. According to the papers, I was hostile, unpredictable, and prone to violence. And she claimed to fear for her safety and Tyler's. But here's the part that immediately took me out of the "just ignore her" state. She tried to make it seem like she dumped me. She filed the papers saying I became violent after she tried to have a civil conversation about our breakup. She didn't mention me walking in on her introducing me as her damn roommate, nor how Tyler started running his mouth, or the things her uncle spilled. Didn't say a word about any of that. I immediately called the building management office and asked if they had any hallway recordings. Thankfully, one of the exterior cameras caught the entrance to my floor. And that's when I saw it. Tyler had come back. 2 nights before the restraining order was filed, he came to my apartment, rang the doorbell with some random dude, and when no one answered, they left after standing there for like 5 minutes. So, as I am the threat when he shows up at my door after everything that happened, I sent the video to a lawyer friend who helped me draft a response and file it. The video, along with all the evidence I had, everything was included. There was no harassment, threat, or violence against her. Meanwhile, a mutual friend I didn't even know she was still talking to reached out. Told me that Tyler had been going around saying I was too soft to keep a girl like Jennifer in check and that he knew she'd come back to him eventually. He was even laughing about the fight, saying I was lucky Jennifer broke it up before he really started hitting me. I don't remember it that way, and his ass remembers even less. But I guess Tyler is one of those people who talk and do little. My friend told me this wasn't Tyler's first rodeo. Apparently, his pattern was to show up in his ex's lives when they were feeling insecure or their relationships were on the rocks. He'd play the nice guy, pretend he wanted to talk, and then manipulate them into thinking they still had feelings for him. It disgusted me, honestly. A few days later, I got confirmation of what I suspected. One of Jennifer's old roommates, someone I'd never really talked to but we had mutual friends, sent me a DM. Said she felt bad for not saying anything sooner, but that she felt I deserved to know. According to her, Jennifer had been seeing Tyler for months before that night at my apartment. Said Jennifer would disappear on weekends, telling everyone she was visiting her family. But there were always Uber receipts, late-night calls, and even a couple of times where she came home with gifts she wouldn't explain. To top it all off, I found an old email account I used to help her with freelance job applications. I was deleting files to make space and noticed I hadn't logged out on my laptop. The inbox had Uber receipts to a motel area, Amazon deliveries to motels, and even a bill for a fancy dinner reservation dated weeks before the fight. It all painted the same picture. She was actively cheating on me, lying about it, and had wanted to use my apartment to cheat here. Maybe some kind of fetish, if she hadn't already done it. I decided to start the process of breaking my lease. Thankfully, my job has a satellite office in another part of the city, so I requested a transfer. The whole situation has become so draining that I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to keep running into her friends. And I sure as hell don't want to stay in my apartment with all that baggage now. So far, my lawyer is handling everything with the restraining order. Given that she hasn't presented any proof of actual danger, and the video shows the opposite of what she claimed, I'm confident it will be dismissed. The fact that Tyler showed up again helped a lot. This whole situation has been a mess, but at least now it's all out in the open, and I'm moving on. I'm looking for a new apartment. My transfer at work got approved, and I've cut off any mutual connections that are still in contact with her. If anything else happens, I'll post it. Update 3. There's more drama to my story, but I'm talking about the kind with cops involved now. So, earlier this week, I got a text from the lady who used to live in the unit right below mine. We've always had a good rapport, neighborly stuff, like picking up packages for each other or chatting in the hallway. She texts me saying, "Hey, I think that guy you fought with came back." I thought she was mistaking him for someone else, but nope. She said Tyler had come back. She already knows about the situation, by the way, since we'd talked about it before. He was looking angry and pacing back and forth in the hallway. Apparently, he started banging on the door, yelling something, but I wasn't living there anymore. The dude started banging on the door and yelling until the guy who lived in that apartment came out. Naturally, that guy had no idea who Tyler was and told him to get lost. A verbal fight broke out. My neighbor heard it all and ended up calling the cops. I didn't hear about any of this until a day later when she told me. Turns out Tyler got arrested. The charges weren't serious, trespassing and resisting when the cops showed up, but it was enough to cause him some trouble. The building is also taking this seriously now. They're going to put in some security measures. A little late since I don't live there, but better late than never. What really sealed the deal for me was what came next. Jennifer's cousin reached out. I met him once at a family dinner. Seemed like a decent guy, but we never really talked after that. He texts me out of the blue, after hearing about all the drama at some family event, to tell me that, unfortunately, I'm not the first guy this has happened to. According to him, Jennifer has a pattern. She goes quiet in a relationship when she's unhappy, avoids confrontation, and then starts reconnecting with an ex instead of addressing the actual problems. In her last relationship, she did the exact same thing, until she got caught, and the guy ended things. I'm not sure if I'll write another update after this. I've said what I needed to say, and at this point, I'm just focusing on moving forward. If anything else happens, I'll let you know, but hopefully, this is the last time I have to think about all this. Update 4. After all the drama, the lawyer letters, the restraining order threats, and her disappearing like she wants a round 2, I thought it was all over. I thought I'd finally gotten the silence I'd been asking for since the night I kicked my ex and Tyler out of my place. But closure doesn't always come clean. Sometimes it sneaks in through people you barely remember or haven't spoken to in a while. In my case, it came from a mutual acquaintance of Jennifer's. She sent me a short message, saying she didn't want to get involved at the time, but thought I should know what happened after I cut contact. Apparently, once everything blew up and the whole Tyler thing started to fall apart, Jennifer packed her things and vanished from most people's lives. Didn't explain anything, just left. The roommate said everything went to hell pretty quickly because the lease was up, and she left everyone hanging. Then came the next part. Jennifer tried to get back with Tyler. According to this person, it didn't last long. Turns out, Tyler wasn't just a manipulative clown, he was dangerous. After Jennifer moved in with him for a bit, his ex before her showed up again, this time filing actual assault charges, not just shoving and yelling, actual charges. That same Tyler with the stupidest smirk and softest ass I ever kicked, although I think it was the only one I kicked in my life, now was between court dates. There wasn't a person in the world who deserved that more than Tyler. I don't know much else about Jennifer, because after her attempt to file a restraining order against me, she hasn't looked for any way to communicate with me. I still get information because that's how this is. Someone needs to tell you something, but I only know that she's living with her dad right now. Apparently, her mom asked her dad for a divorce, and she is living with him. I don't know why they have divorced, if it has to do with my story or not. That's where my spy network reaches. But I don't want to think that I'm so important or so powerful that a well-placed and timely kick in the ass has had so many repercussions. In my love life, I've been dating a few girls, but nothing serious at the moment, just a few dates and that's it. It's hard to trust again when you find out you've been cheated on for so long. I don't know if that wound will ever heal or stay that way forever. I'd like to know about other people, it doesn't matter if they're men or women, how they've managed to overcome infidelity and have serious relationships again after that. Maybe hearing other people's experiences will help me feel more comfortable with my own situation. Maybe it just takes more time, or maybe it's just hard to trust someone again. Update 5. Not that I like to keep making updates about my life, but I think this one will be the most pleasant, so I'm happy to sit down and write it for the first time. There's always a first time. Winked at ass, as they started calling Tyler. Got 30 days in jail, plus a fine, plus forced labor, community service, for his assault case. I don't know what kind of criminals he'll be locked up with, because it's not like they took him to a maximum security prison, but there's a chance someone will kick his ass there. I mean, a kick in the ass to someone as arrogant as Tyler is not denied to anyone, is it? It's not much, but I'm already happy with how satisfied I was to kick his ass that time. It's hard to put it into words, you have to feel it to know what I'm talking about. But it was an almost religious experience. The feeling of your foot gaining momentum, fully impacting with the sole on his butt, seeing him fly forward and then fall almost face down on the floor in the hallway of the place. It's something I recommend, but always with people who deserve it. For example, guys like Tyler, who wink at you because they are about to sleep with your girlfriend. For that kind of guy, you need to use this technique. I must say that I have been reading your suggestions about infidelity and trusting again, and it seems that therapy would be necessary. I'm not saying I don't want to take that advice, but I never considered going to therapy. It will be something I should think about. Update 6. I think it's been 3 years since I made my first post, maybe a little more. I haven't reviewed it in detail. And a lot has changed in this time, while other things remain the same. For starters, I think I've started to heal because I've given myself a chance to be in a relationship again. I think I've taken it slow on this matter, but it's been for the best. Starting a relationship in a healthier state of mind I think has been the right thing to do. What hasn't changed is the dynamic of Jennifer and shoe marked ass. In all this time, Jennifer started dating someone again and cheated on him again with Tyler. Same old story, but something changed this time. Tyler decided to leave Jennifer a souvenir for so many years of adulterous relationships. Yes, he hid Jennifer. But you know what I found out? That Jennifer decided not to file a complaint, even though Tyler has left her again. My surprise is zero because there is a clear toxic relationship between them, and this even seems like the most normal thing in the world to me. As normal as this probably being my last update. I mean, we'll get to Update 73, and it will probably be a copy and paste of this one. So I'll leave it here. Just imagine this update repeated several times, and it's likely pretty close to reality.